One Piece Manga Chapter 908. Now by hype, this chapter wasn't as good as the last chapter, but definitely more mysterious. It seems like Oda is adding more mystery with no answers. Now I'm not complaining, One Piece has been built up to the point that it can literally have an arc answering all the questions in One Piece. That's how many mysteries this series has. And personally, I feel like mysteries is one of the best parts of One Piece. I mean, there's a reason why we have so many One Piece theories, more so than any other manga community. But all in all, this is a really great chapter. We had spooky revelations at the end, the sudden appearance of a supernova. Like, the Reverie is honestly fire right now. Now I'm still bummed out that this is supposed to last 10 chapters and we're almost halfway through. But anyways, that's not the focus of today. Let's get on to this One Piece greatness. Now before we move on, yes, Oda off-screen the stuff with Shanks and the Gorosei, which was easily the best part of chapter 907, but this was expected. Hopefully we get more information about the individual Shanks was supposed to talk about during the next couple of chapters. I think it's obvious that we're not going to get answers to some of the questions of this arc, but we should get something at least. If there's anything Oda is great at, it's the ending of arcs. The finale of the Reverie might be the greatest One Piece chapter of all time. I'm just saying. Now I'm just going to skip past the cover page because there's nothing relevant there. Now the title of this chapter is called The Reverie Begins, which is self-explanatory. Now for the first bit of the chapter, we see the aftermath of what happened with Charles and Midgard, or is it Midgard? Again, I've said this before, but looking at all the individuals that Luffy has saved in one place is amazing. Again, what we're seeing here is the culmination of Luffy's effort and 100 chapters worth of build-up. These types of panels are definitely my favorite. Now it's good that we have a celestial dragon on our side, given the fact that these guys have a lot of say and power when it comes down to decisions, and since Shirahoshi is a target in all of this, it only makes sense that we have someone to defend her. So it's good that we have him on our side, but at the same time I think something may happen where even with him there, things are not going to work out as planned, which I will get back to at the end of this video. And with the introduction of Don Quixote, Midgard, is there a chance we might get other celestial dragons with different personalities and goals? Because so far we've only seen two, the family of St. Charles and the Don Quixote family. I'm pretty sure there's going to be variety even amongst the celestial dragon. That would definitely spice things up for the better. Now it was revealed that Fujitora sent a message to King Riku and Cobra. We know Fujitora's long-time goal ever since Dressrosa was to destroy the Shichibukai system. Now I think this could be Fujitora's proposal to break the Shichibukai system, because only kings are allowed in the Reverie, from what was said anyways. So I guess he's using them as his spokesperson in the Reverie, which makes sense. And funny enough, these are the two kings who knows the most about how shady the warlords can get. Doflamingo and how he messed up Dressrosa for like 10 years or 10, was it 20 years or 10 years? And Crocodile with his shady schemes in Alabasta. Like, these two kings have witnessed those things firsthand, and the whole system seems to be doing more harm than good for the Marines anyway. So Fujitora got the perfect representatives in the Reverie right now. Now my problem here is that if they break the warlord system, a lot of things are gonna change. First of all, they need something to replace that power, which was hinted that Vegapunk may have created some new war pacifista or some crazy invention that can, replace the missing power. The other question is, what is going to happen to people like Mihawk, Buggy, Boa, and all of those guys? It's obvious that they're going to send, the Marines to attack them since they don't have the immunity they once had. Now, I think the breaking of the system will play a part in this crazy war that Kaido wants, because it looks like everyone is making moves at this point. If anything, Boa and Buggy will probably team up with Luffy somehow, some way. Mihawk probably meets up with Shanks again, which is going to be high probably. Instead of them being rivals, these two may fight together against whoever, because a lot of new, strong, and relevant characters are just popping out of nowhere. So the breaking of the system more than likely will add on to the turmoil and make the war even greater, especially when you have people like Mihawk. This guy is top tier in the verse. I'm pretty sure he's gonna make an appearance in the story again, especially if it has to do with Shanks. The theories about Mihawk being a secret crew member of Shanks could be plausible, but Oda has to make Mihawk relevant again because there's so much things he can do with him. Now we move on to the scene where we have the gates of the celestial dragons. We have St. Charles making his way to get treated. We also get the reintroduction of Kuma, and the last time we saw him was when we got the reveal that he was the one who protected the Sunny for 2 years. Now it is shown that Kuma is actually a slave to one of the celestial dragons. I mean, ever since he lost his mind, he didn't have the will to go against the world government's orders anymore. The last time he had any free will was during Sabaody. So he's essentially a full-blown slave at this point, because it seems like the families within Marjorie Marijoa are having turns with him. Now I do wonder what was the point of him becoming a slave if there wasn't any end goal. It seems like this is something that even the top officials of the revolutionaries aren't aware of, because during Marineford, Ivankov was shocked that Kuma would do something like this. So there's definitely more to Kuma than we know. We also found out that he was the former king of the Soviet kingdom, which makes sense because I had hints here and there that Kuma was a king to some sort of kingdom based on his title as a tyrant, and that could mean that he was actually like Doflamingo before, but changed his ways and joined the revolutionaries. And this could tie into why he's holding a Bible. Maybe that played a role into his personality change. Now one of the more interesting supernovas has made her way back into the story, and that's Bonney. And apparently she snuck her way into Marijoa using her Reverie powers. Now I do wonder what role Bonney is going to play in all of this, because she seemingly has some relationship to Kuma, because she was tearing up when she saw how Kuma was treated. This could also be the reason why she was crying at Marineford, because at first I thought she was crying for Whitebeard during Marineford because she went after Blackbeard right after the war was over, and then she got captured by a Kainu. It seems like Kuma might be the individual she cared for, and it seems like she's on a mission to save him. At this point, I'm not entirely sure what she plans on doing, but I'm sure a lot of theories are going to come out of this. We then move on to the revolutionary side of things, and Sabo is fuming because of what's going on with Kuma. Now this could throw in a wrinkle in their plans, because we know how Sabo was during Dressrosa. Even though he was the second in command of the revolutionary army, he chose to fight Fujitora because of Luffy, even though the Revs are supposed to be low-key. And this eventually led to a chain of events that led to revolutionaries' base being found. So Sabo has to contain himself, or the plan they have going on could fail, because there's an insane amount of firepower at the Reverie right now. We got the CP0, we got the admirals that are really close by. Also, if you notice, Dragon isn't there, so he's probably on a different mission. I cannot wait for Dragon to show up. And I'm also liking Sabo's new attire. He looks way better than the getup he had in Dressrosa. Something to point out, I think it's 100% confirmed that Morley was the individual who made level 5.5 and Impel Down, because he was able to make this small base beneath the floor in this chapter. So it makes sense that he was responsible for Ivankov's hideout in Impel Down. And based on the noise he makes, it seems like his ability is the squish fruit, so he can essentially change the properties of any substance to become squishy, which is a really versatile ability. And finally, we move on to the Gorosei. Now it is stated that Cobra has scheduled a meeting with the Gorosei, and this is a plot point that people have been talking about for a while. Ever since we saw that Cobra was sick, it seemed like Oda was going to kill him off, and with what was said in this chapter, the Gorosei hopes that he didn't figure anything out, or I guess they might have to kill him. Something else that they said that could be game changing is that they think that the balance of the world cannot be maintained forever, and there has to be great cleansing. Now this is huge. This is huge because we've never actually seen the Gorosei take action. They usually want to keep the balance in place, but it seems like these guys are finally on the move. We also had a major plot twist. Now in the last chapter, they said that there was no king of the world, but in this chapter we got the reveal that there is actually someone at the very top who is even above the Gorosei. Now we see this individual with Luffy and Blackbeard's bodies all ripped up. More than likely he wants them dead. We also see Shirahoshi's picture in there as well. Now at this point there's a huge chance that they know she's an ancient weapon, which brings me to Don Quixote Midgard. Now even though he's a celestial dragon with power, I think in the face of this Imu-sama guy, he's going to be useless. I think Midgard is going to be used as a hype tool to show that the celestial dragons really don't have any power and are just puppets in the overall spectrum of the world government. And this individual also has plans for Vivi, and this could be related to the idea of her being a descendant of the Nefertari family, and the fact that she was the only picture that wasn't torn means that they don't necessarily want to kill her, but they have plans for her. Now what are those plans? We're not sure, but this chapter was absolutely insane. Now people are saying that this character is like the strongest character of all time. Now I'm not sure about all of that, but I do think this person is very special and holds some form of actual power within the world government. Maybe this person is the national treasure of Marijoa, who knows. But overall this was a really good chapter, 9.5 out of 10. It seems like things are gonna get a lot worse than we think, but we are on break next week, even though it didn't show on the chapter. Anyways guys, like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more One Piece content. It is Pharaoh, and I will see you folks later. Peace.